What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and I trust that you are still pissed off. The Dallas Cowboys lost their season opener on Sunday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 19-3, and unfortunately, it really happened. I woke up I was going to say at the crack of dawn. It was before dawn. It was still the dark of night when I woke up on Monday morning and came to the realization that Sunday night, not a nightmare, not a dream. It actually happened. The Dallas Cowboys looked like the worst team in the NFL. Dak Prescott has the thumb injury, expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. It really, truly, totally is maybe the worst possible way that this season could have started off for this team. And this Monday, every Monday after a game, there's all the kind of evaluation and assessment that happens looking at what the Cowboys did or didn't do well. And this particular one is a bit thorough. This particular Monday is really examining all of the errors, the comedy of errors, if you will, that the Dallas Cowboys made, not just on Sunday night against Tampa, but in the lead up to this. This entire offseason has been building towards this. If you've been paying attention, if you've been following along here on the Blog of the Boys YouTube channel, make sure you do subscribe. If you've been reading bloggingtheboys.com, if you've been listening to our podcast, if you follow me on social media, you have known that we, like many other people in the Cowboys Twitter media, social, YouTube verse, we have all, lots of very smart people, have seen the writing on the wall. This offensive line was not ready to contend at the NFL level. This wide receiver group was not ready to contend at the NFL level. And the chickens came home to roost on Sunday night for the Dallas Cowboys. They lost. They were the only team in the NFC East to lose in week one. That's right. The Cowboys they have sole possession of last place in the division. I know it's only week one, but still, they had an opportunity. The Green Bay Packers lost. The LA Rams lost. The San Francisco 49ers lost. Had the Cowboys won, the Buccaneers would have lost. They could have been the only reigning NFC division champion from a year ago to win in week one. Instead, that particular title goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think what's frustrating about all of this, beyond, like the long list of grievances that we have with regards to this team, is that there is seemingly no accountability. The Dallas Cowboys are, of course, led by the brilliant minds of Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, and the latter took to the radio airwaves of 105.3 The Fan on Monday and blamed everybody else. Everybody who is not Stephen Jones or Jerry Jones is apparently at fault because the Joneses do no harm. The Joneses know exactly what they're doing. We are all just tools in their overall master grand chess match that they are playing with the entire NFL world here. Stephen Jones came out and said that the Cowboys not playing starters in the preseason was kind of an issue. They clearly weren't ready. That's blaming Mike McCarthy. Stephen Jones came out and said that CeeDee Lamb has to win more. CeeDee Lamb has to find a way to be a top wide receiver. Now he's blaming CeeDee Lamb. So the list of people who are having to kind of bear the consequences for the actions of Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones now includes quarterback Dak Prescott, who's injured, by the way, going to be having that surgery. At the time that I'm putting this video together, the full totality of the surgery and whatnot is not fully known. We'll, of course, keep you updated at Blog of the Boys. They're blaming Mike McCarthy, the head coach. We know that they've been ready to do that from the jump. They're blaming CeeDee Lamb. They've already kind of hinted at getting ready to blame the run game. They blamed injuries. I mean, it is everything and everyone else's fault down to the sun that comes through the glare within the wall windows of AT&T Stadium, the one that they will not prevent, by the way, with curtains. I mean, it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing if you are a Dallas Cowboys fan like I am, like you are, to see this team point fingers literally everywhere else. No, Steven, this isn't on CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, he did not have a great game. He was one of our stock down players. If you read our stock report at blogoftheboys.com, you follow me on Instagram as well. CeeDee can certainly play better. CeeDee has to play better. But why is CeeDee the only capable NFL player on this roster, Steven? Why is CeeDee the only player who opposing defenses are afraid of? And look, this is kind of the result of what the Cowboys did. I don't want to sit here and talk poorly about Noah Brown or Simi Fehoko, but the reality is the Buccaneers aren't afraid of them, right? I mean, we all watched this game. Are the Buccaneers afraid of Simi Fehoko and Noah Brown? No. Are the Cincinnati Bengals going to be afraid of them? No. And when you say something like that, it sounds disrespectful towards those players, but that's the reality that the Cowboys have carved by choosing to trade away Amari Cooper. Fine. We don't need to sit here and relitigate that again. You wanted to move on from Amari Cooper, fine. You had to replenish, though. Well, they did replenish, RJ. They signed James Washington. Why didn't they, bring anybody in when James Washington was hurt in training camp? Well, they did. They had third-round pick Jalen Tolbert. You mean the guy that didn't even dress on Sunday? It was actually, I know I said that we woke up on Monday and it wasn't a nightmare, but this is actually so badly done that it is difficult for me to believe that functional adults accomplish this, right? Like it's actually difficult to comprehend that a group of professionals in any line of work oversaw this and said this was a good idea. It's very difficult. It's frustrating to see Stephen Jones pointing the finger at everybody else that isn't him. Jerry Jones will take to the airwaves. He's scheduled to at least on Tuesday morning on 105.3 The Fan. I anticipate we will get number one, first and foremost, the same sort of behavior, same sort of it's everybody else's fault. Everybody has to step up. But then we'll get the spin. Cooper Rush, he's going to play well. Watch out. CeeDee Lamb, he's been practicing. We got to run the ball. We're going to have to rely on Zeke. We're going to feed Zeke with Dak Prescott out. Don't worry, everybody. We're going to be fine. We're all going to be good. Nobody panic. But speaking of panic, we know that Dak Prescott is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks as a result of his thumb injury. Connor McGovern has a high ankle sprain. This is something, of course, that we kind of had an awareness of on Sunday night. And safety Jaron Kearse officially, according to Jordan Schultz, has a sprained MCL, meaning he's going to miss a couple of weeks. So Cowboys are now going to be operating as far as intended starters when you really think about this here against the Cincinnati Bengals without Tyron Smith, who's hurt. I mean, I know he has been out for a while now, but he was still technically an intended starter. Dak Prescott, Connor McGovern, who has become an intended starter, and Jaron Kearse. They're already down James Washington. I mean, they're already without Michael Gallup. I mean, this team it's amazing. This team should not be this beat up and this kind of torn apart at week 2. And look, if you follow me, if you read me, if you listen to me, if you watch me, whatever, I think you probably agree with me to some degree that this season is kind of over for the Cowboys in some way, shape, or form. That's not to be dramatic. Crazy things happen. We've seen all sorts of stories in the NFL. We've seen teams come from all sorts of different places to be competitive, to win divisions, to move on, to win the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. Anything can happen. But right now, looking at just week 2, it is difficult to see a path for the Dallas Cowboys getting to, you obviously don't have 500 records anymore in the NFL, but it's difficult to see this Cowboys team that was arguably the worst offense in the NFL with Dak Prescott on Sunday night. It's difficult to see them winning 7 games. It's difficult to see them winning any game without Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is another example. The Cowboys insisted on keeping Cooper Rush as their QB2. Yes, Will Grier is on the roster. I understand that in a practice squad capacity, but the Cowboys declined the opportunity to invest seriously in that position. Again, if you watch me, you know this is something I've brought up many different times. I loved 2 years ago when the Cowboys brought in Andy Dalton. That's the exact kind of backup you want. A young-ish guy who's been there, done that, started in the NFL, has legitimate experience. Cooper Rush has started 1 game, and we're going to hear the spin. I'm telling you, Cooper Rush went to Minnesota last year. He got the win. We're confident that he can do that again. Cooper Rush knows this system. Maybe this system sucks. Have you thought about that? Maybe this system is terrible. I mean, this system, this offensive system is incredibly flawed. At what point are we going to wave the white flag on Kellen Moore's precious offensive scheme? Because dating back to the second half of last year, really the loss against the Denver Broncos, this offensive scheme has been worthless. I mean, this is a Cowboys team that, yes, they had a big offensive showing late in the season last year against Washington. But other than that, this is a team that has been carried by their defense. And now they're without their starting left tackle. They're without their starting quarterback. They're without one of their starting wide receivers, and Michael Gallup. Another one if you want to count James Washington. Another one if you want to count Jalen Tolbert. Can't even get into the actual lineup on game days. So what reason is there to trust this scheme? Maybe you should change the scheme up. Maybe you should figure something else out and think outside this box, because this box is trapping you. I don't know how Kellen Moore is skating by without any criticism. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones are pointing fingers at Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. It's time to point them at your fourth-year offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is not some young, hotshot new dude at this point in time. This is his 4th season, and he has to answer for why this offense looks awful. Dan Quinn showed up and took over one of the worst defenses in the NFL and turned it into one of the best units across the entire league. Kellen Moore has had a lot of time. He's had a lot of consistent variables. He's had a lot of legitimate resources poured into this offense, and yet he cannot find a way to even make it legitimate. The Cowboys are the only team ahead of Monday Night Football. We'll see what the Broncos and Seahawks do. Obviously, if you watch this after Monday Night Football, you'll know the answer. But the Cowboys right now are the only team who has not scored a touchdown in the NFL. Shout out to Kellen Moore and the precious system that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones refused to blame. But by the way, on the subject of the offense, we had to make sure we got this subject in the video. All right. Stop pretending that Jimmy Garoppolo is the answer. I've gotten this question a lot. We've gotten it a billion different times. They're blogging the boys already. I'm getting it on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. No. No, no, we don't know. No, we're not going to do this. Jimmy Garoppolo, I know he's kind of a viable backup quarterback option. I know he took the Niners to the NFC Championship game. I know he went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. It doesn't matter. He's one of the worst. I don't know. He's one of the best, like 40 quarterbacks on earth, but still, I want nothing to do with this. I mean, we've seen the Niners offense be trapped by Jimmy Garoppolo, and I do not want what this would bring. And let me be very clear. I am a big believer in Dak Prescott. I believe that Dak has to play better. I believe that Dak, prior to the injury, played poorly on Sunday night. All of these things can be true at the same time. However, and I say this with great respect, Cowboys fans can be kind of silly. That's the nice word. Cowboys fans can be kind of ridiculous. Cowboys fans can be kind of, out of left field. So what I do not want Jimmy Garoppolo to be acquired at a great cost. A third-round pick, do not want that. But that would be part of this, right? You're paying a great cost, a great transactional price to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not going to make you good. You're only giving up assets for the future to just kind of maybe, hopefully, possibly kind of keep, treading water, status quo, whatever that even is for this team right now. So you're giving up something significant. You're not really getting any better. And then whenever Dak Prescott does come back, if that is after the bye, if we get all the way to week 9, week 10, whatever, and if he plays poorly, and again, he played poorly on Sunday night, I do not want to have to hear all the people who will say, you should start Jimmy Garoppolo over Dak Prescott. Do not want it. I want nothing to do with that. So there are a lot of reasons here. The main one is he's not a great player. He doesn't make this team better, Jimmy Garoppolo. You don't need to give up anything for anybody right now. You're not at that point in time. I know we talked about Matt Castle in 2015. That was not a real consequential prize that the Cowboys gave up. It was a day 3 pick. I mean, you do not have to give up something significant here. Look, I'm not saying I believe in Cooper Rush, but that's kind of where you're at. You're stuck. You can't go find not even a backup. You cannot go find a starting quarterback. We've been killing the Cowboys for the last few weeks, and you can't go find your starting left tackle in late August, September. You definitely can't go find your starting quarterback in mid-September. That's what the Cowboys are. That is literally what people are suggesting doing. Go get a starting quarterback for your NFL team in the middle of September. No way, no thanks. I want nothing to do with it. The secondary, tertiary element to this is I don't want to have to deal with the people who were saying, oh, just play Jimmy Garoppolo over Dak Prescott. Want nothing to do with it. Nothing. Nope. No way. So no, just say no. I know Cam Newton's name has been thrown out. No, I hate to say this because it's not a good idea. The best option right now, to be frank with you, is Cooper Rush. Actually, that's not true. The best, most practical option is Will Grier. But the Cowboys are going to make us and themselves learn that lesson the hard way. And I would love to be proven wrong about that. I would love for Cooper Rush to show up on Sunday afternoon, throw for 300 yards like he did against the Minnesota Vikings, and lead the Cowboys to victory. I would love nothing more than to come here and eat a bunch of humble pie. And I'm not trying to circle the wagons on how right I was, but I said I would love to come here and say that the Cowboys were right with regards to how they built their offensive line, with how they built their wide receiver room. And here we sit 1 week into the regular season, and everybody else except for the Dallas Cowboys looks right. So Will Grier is the best possible option in terms of available practical options. Cooper Rush is number 2. Jimmy Garoppolo is like number, I don't know, like 97, 98 maybe. So, hey, it is what it is. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at RJ Ochoa, on TikTok at rj.ochoa. Got caught up there. You can always send me an email, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com. It's only Monday, and I'm going to be straight up with you. It's going to be a long week. It's going to be a long week, and it's going to be an even longer week on Thursday night when the Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs play one another, and their offenses light it up. Do you remember back in 2018, everybody said this year kind of reminded them of that? Early on in that season on Thursday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings went out to L.A. to play the Rams, put up like 1,000 yards of total offense, basically, and that was really frustrating to watch as a Cowboys fan because our offense was not doing that. And that's what it's going to feel like on Thursday night when the Chiefs and Chargers play. We will see. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are one of the worst teams in the NFL. It isn't hyperbolic. It isn't dramatic. That isn't a prisoner of the moment. That is just the way it is. And ultimately, the Dallas Cowboys have only the Dallas Cowboys to blame for this because it is literally 100% their fault. So let's get out of here. I hope you have a great Monday night. I hope you have a great Tuesday morning. We will have more podcasts for you on the Blogging the Boys podcast network, more videos here on the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to have a great day. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. See you next time.